I used to love listening to the radio, especially talk radio. I know I'm an old guy, but I even did it when I was young. Absolutely loved it. Come home at night, I'd turn on the news, CNN right away, or ABC, CBS, whatever was on, I would turn news on because I love political talk radio or news. Just love it. Still do to this day, I just don't do much of it because I learned a hard lesson. When I first started doing this, and I was listening to it in my car, driving all around, I'm in sales, so I'm spending a lot of time in my car listening to this. And I noticed other people saying things and commenting to me after a while, especially my wife. I'd come home and I'd put the news on at night, and I found myself in the middle of the room having a discussion with the TV and with people who are on the TV. And I was angry. I'm yelling at the TV. My wife laid down the law one day and said, "You're no longer allowed to watch news at home," because I was getting so crazy. I was getting angry. All that stuff that I was putting on the inside of me, it was starting to come out of me. And it wasn't so much the programming, it was what I call, and now modern day Webster's call, the trolls. It was people who were calling in with remarks that were full of anger and hate, and they were trying to stir the pot. And I was feeding off them and then responding to them. That's a mistake. That's an absolute mistake. And it was affecting me. It was affecting my attitude. I was walking around angry all the time. You couldn't even talk to me about this kind of stuff. And that's foolish. I didn't know it though until other people started pointing it out. So I stopped. I went cold turkey. I absolutely turned the radio off. I started putting in motivational CDs and inspirational CDs and some training CDs. And when I was at home, I was really careful. I stayed away from the news. Now I bet you're asking, well, Ed, that makes you kind of ignorant. How do you stay in touch? I protected myself. I made sure when I did stay in touch, and I do, I love to read, and I read quite a bit, but I just do it on my terms now. I do it so that I don't put myself in danger. I learned it this way. I have a friend who's a recovering alcoholic. Now, she was an alcoholic for many years, and she's been clean now for many years, and she tells me, I just protect myself, Ed. Drinking isn't bad. I just don't go to places that promote it heavily, which means she stays away from bars and other places where she could get in trouble. Well, I have to do the same because, like all humanity, we're addicted to entertainment. We love this stuff. Just look at Facebook right now. Somebody will post something politically, religiously, or socially that's a hot topic. And there are trolls that will come out of the woodwork and they'll get on there and they'll just put a nuclear bomb in somewhere in the verbiage and people will respond. I'm asking you not to. I'm asking you first just to avoid those things. They're traps. And then secondly, even if you do catch it and you do read it, do not respond no matter how much you want to or how much you believe you know the truth. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. If you get involved in this, all it's going to do is turn you into what I became. Angry on the inside. Because once this stuff gets in, once it gets in, its enemy is in the gates. And their job is to search and destroy. And they're going to build a cancer on the inside of your brain. And it's going to come out in the form of frustration, discontentment, and anger, and it's going to affect your relationships, your finances, your jobs, your careers, and it's going to eventually affect your health. This is bad news. We must stay away from this no matter how much we want to do it or how strong we think we are. I don't care. If this stuff is getting in, and think of it this way, it's junk food. It's junk food for your brain. You're eating and consuming this stuff and you think that it's healthy for you, you think it can't hurt you, you're wrong. It's going to hurt you. It's going to affect your attitude. And your attitude is everything. You must protect it. So I'm going to ask you to choose wisely. And to take that time that you're listening to and feeding the trolls, feed yourself. Go to the library. It's free. And pick up some motivational CDs and listen to them in your car. Zig Ziglar says our cars are our universities. What an awesome time to learn and develop yourself and to invest in you and invest in your attitude. Once I stopped listening to all this stuff 20 years ago, stopped watching it, and I started forcing myself to like motivation and inspiration, it changed everything. I mean, almost overnight, it changed everything. I just wasn't near as angry. I'm still very passionate about things, but now it's not anger that's coming out now. Protect yourself. You owe it to yourself to eat healthy stuff for your brain. Stop feeding and responding to the trolls. My name is Ed Carcari. You can find me at edcarcari.com. Find your passion. You'll find your life.